Dude, Luke, the printer's still busted. What the fuck, man?
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode 30 of the Topless Robot Podcast. My name is Ryan.
I am Brooks.
I'm Tyler. And I'm back, bitches!
Unfortunately. And
Dan, you should have locked the door.
we are in our, temporarily new set. I have moved into my new house, and we are, at least this week, and maybe next week, and etc. However long it takes me to get the studio built.
From all of us to all of you.
We are going to be recording either in my living room or in my basement. So this is new.
I gotta say, it's a little weird being in the news digs. Like, I'm so used to my, my little corner in the back of the room.
Yeah.
I've got so much room.
It is strange having this much space, but when you move to Oklahoma City, that's just what happens.
Yes, we all have moved to Oklahoma City.
My soul always lived in Oklahoma City.
I feel like I wish I should have had some agency in this matter because I just kind of woke up here. When I went to bed, it was like last week. All of a sudden, I'm in Oklahoma and have a massive headache. So
the only agents that you need to worry about is Scully and Mulder.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Why?
Because I could make that shitty joke.
Why?
That was so far out of left field.
That wasn't even a joke.
For you.
Well, it was a concept that could have been a joke.
You're a disappointment, Brooks.
No,
it was a rough draft, some might say.
No, it's called art.
It was
and let me guess, it's not your fault if we don't get your art.
Yeah, it means that you're Philistines. So.
Hell
what
yeah.
you talking about, Phyllis?
Mom always told me I could be something.
That was a bad one.
Don't make me get my sling.
I'm already regretting doing a podcast again. So this episode also marks our departure from a week separation, a week buffer, because usually we were always recording the episodes 1 week in advance. Now we're recording episodes 1 day in advance because with all the moving and whatnot, I didn't have enough time to put together a best of collection or the collection of pre-show stuff, which I'll still do at some point in the future when we need a week off. But I kind of also got tired of us talking about stuff that was current news a week late and having to keep track of what is going on in a week. Like, oh yeah, I mean, what we drank on St. Patrick's Day, I think.
Yeah.
Instead of on the St. Patrick's Day episode.
And then next week we were just slamming beers for no apparent reason.
Well, these guys have a drinking problem.
Yes.
No,
normally slamming beers for no
hopefully
apparent
as
reason.
technology progresses in the future, we'll actually be able to do an episode the day before or the day after it comes out, as kind of a precog thing.
Look, I have been working on my time spells. You just have to give me a little bit more time.
Dan, wait, how many episodes have we done?
It's
29.
It's
29?
not. It's not Dan's fault that he's.
I wasn't on for a full 29 episodes. Thank you very much.
Sounds like
It's
a
true.
personal problem.
You came on what, episode 8 or
9
12?
or 8 or something. I don't remember.
9, I think.
Yeah, once you
something
came
Point
on.
is, Tyler, you're gonna have to give me some time. At least 30 episodes of performing with you.
Time? What is time?
Dan just needs to get past his remedial sacred geometry class. So
Yeah.
Gotta finish reading that Spells for Dummies.
I really don't have enough ranks in knowledge engineering to pull it off, so.
So a couple of things in the news. One is Disney Plus.
Yeah.
There are a few things. You groan all you want. I'm fucking stoked for it.
I'm actually super excited.
Like all the news that has come out for it has gotten me very surprised actually, with the price range being $6.99 a month.
Yeah, that's
And you
actually
can pay-
really good.
And
Pay, what, was it
all
$60 for 12 months?
all of the Simpsons, old Simpsons episodes being available on the service.
Mandalorian, the first episode will be live as soon as it launches.
Hey, don't have a cow, man.
But I mean, like, they've made a lot of very interesting announcements that, I'm like, oh, great, another fucking service that I'm going to have to pay for every month. But, like, $7 a month is pretty reasonable considering the amount of content and the type of content that they control.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited to be able to stream Bear in the Big Blue House again. So, no, I'm actually stoked because
Good night, Moon.
The vault, all of the stuff
Also
that I
known as
really
Dan's,
love, like
holding
I think like 20,000 Leagues and like Davy Crockett and the River Pirates and all those old
Those
old properties like the Black Hole and finally
Can watch the Black Cauldron again.
I have it. You mean you don't? The Black Cauldron, on going on a tangent for a second. The Black Cauldron has the sickest and most evil Disney villain ever.
Gurgi is horrible.
It is literally
You're right.
a lich, and the Horned King is just evil. And I wish that it was a longer movie and they hadn't cut so much.
Gurgi is definitely
That's
a
the end of my
terrible
tangent.
villain.
Thank you
You're,
for
you're
coming.
correct. You're correct.
Munchings and crunchings, master.
But yeah, I hope that it becomes a service where they have access to all these properties. They just make these properties available on the service in perpetuity as opposed to cycling through,
Yeah.
I know a lot of these services will, like Nicksplat, for example, on Verve, has access to all of the old Nickelodeon properties, but they kind of cycle through them.
That's lame.
It's because they want to keep your business, and once you're done watching the thing you're nostalgic for, and you're like, okay, I'm good.
Well, I think that with Disney Plus, I feel like the danger of that is going to be way less just because they are doing a ton of original programming. Like, they have all of those, like, a ton of superhero shows that kind of got announced because what they're doing,
The Adventures of
job.
Lois and Clark.
words are hard right now.
Good job.
Pretty much, like, a ton of the Avengers are getting their own show.
Well, they are.
Hawkeye's getting his own
Hawkeye.
show.
Hawkeye's getting a
Hawkeye's
show,
getting a
but
show.
I'm kind of more excited for a Marvel property that they're making into a show that I didn't think that anyone cared about and or remembered, and that was What If.
Yes.
And What If was one of my favorite old comics to rifle through. because
Absolutely.
It was just the Twilight Zone of the Marvel universe.
Well, I mean,
where
the
it's like-
iconic is Wolverine versus the Hulk.
Yeah.
That was like the big what if.
Did you guys ever see the animated film for that one?
No.
Yeah.
It was sick.
Yeah, it was pretty violent. I loved
Apparently,
it.
the what if series is going to be an animated series, and they're just going to do animated, versions of those old stories.
Okay.
I
get behind that.
The pilot being What If Dan didn't have a beard.
You would see that he actually doesn't have a chin. It's a concave chin.
It's one episode. It's just an hour-long footage of my desiccated corpse in a desert.
Oh, that would be brutal.
Dan with a small smile on his face. His objective has been completed.
Finally.
That's how you know. That's how you know it's fiction. If Dan is smiling in any context.
True.
As he smiles.
It's not a smile. It's a grimace. It's, like
I thought it was a hamburger.
like that big purple.
Called a reverse
asshole
frown.
from-
Thank you very much.
Tyler, you're fired. Again.
I'm so happy to be back, guys. I'm so happy.
That makes one of us.
Well, that makes one of us, yeah.
Overflowing with
Yeah.
terrible jokes. You know you.
This is not the Terrible Jokes podcast. This is the Topless Robot podcast. Look. Okay. Look. All right.
That is demonstrably false, and you know it, right?
Maybe if
Here
you
at the
look up
Topless
Topless
Robot-
Robot on Urban Dictionary, it says terrible jokes. But just
God, I wish it
The
did.
Topless Robot podcast really bottoms out in the humor department.
Yeah, he's at bottom.
I did.
oh god.
Oh man.
So
Was that you trying to Thanos snap me into
No.
non-existence?
I was doing the snap instead of clap, but it wasn't entertaining.
Snapping was invented before the Avengers
so
movie.
it's the beatnik golf clap.
Yeah.
Oh man. Have you guys seen Bucket of Blood?
No.
So there's this old movie called Bucket of Blood, and it's actually not like, it sounds like a Grindhouse title, but it's not. It's this.
It's actually a kid's
this kind of
series.
like beat themed movie where this I think he's like a janitor, figures out how to or starts putting the bodies of people he's killed into clay and making like sculptures with them, and that's just how he makes all this art, and he becomes like kind of famous. It's like an extended Twilight Zone episode, because first it's cat, and then he's like puts the cat in clay, and then some guy wants to buy it for like $5,000, which is $1 billion in like 1960 something.
Yeah.
And then it like only gets worse, and so he's just like riding high on this like, yeah, like I'm this famous artist guy now, but secretly he's just killing people and encasing them in clay.
It actually sounds like a very it sounds like a artist version of Perfume.
Oh yeah.
It sounds like the exact same premise, except with.
It definitely sounds like a Twilight Zone episode or an Outer Limits episode or something
Yeah,
like that.
it is in black and white, and it is kind of shot in a similar way, but it's like I think it's feature length. It's pretty good.
Speaking of Twilight Zone, we're now 3
Happy
episodes
noises.
deep on the new Twilight Zone series, and
I've
the
only
first
seen the
episode
first.
is available to watch for free on YouTube. It has Kumail Nanjiani and Tracy Morgan, and it is very good. I have watched. I'm all up to date. It forced me to get a stupid CBS All Access.
Yeah, I'll be doing that soon myself.
Subscription, which another one of those services that cycles through material, because the first time that I did a trial for CBS All Access was because for whatever reason I was feeling nostalgic for The Mentalist. And,
Oh, wow.
The
It's a
Mentalist.
strange nostalgia area
The
to go
Mentalist
to.
is not on CBS All Access anymore, so they've cycled it out because fuck you.
That's mental.
At least I can still watch Miami Vice on Hulu.
Which means there's actually not a streaming service where you can get The Mentalist. Like, I don't even think you can buy seasons on Amazon.
My parents
It
actually
just says not available.
You should rent out a copy from Brooks's Mind Palace.
actually my parents have physical copies of all of The Mentalist.
I would, but I am always late on returning things, and the after-hours depository is not pleasant.
Dude, yeah, I do not like being banished to the hell dimension either, dude.
There are fees beyond your wildest nightmares.
And we also have goobers.
The slot that you put the movies in, like at night, it's just like it has teeth. So you gotta kind of
Return
like,
it after hours at your own peril.
you have to like
It's
kinda
a
like-
mimic.
like pop it in, and just like stick your hand back out.
No, you have several depository slots, and all but one of them are mimics. And so if you choose the wrong one, you have to do battle.
Well, I never choose the wrong one because my knowledge plane skill is high enough to identify mimics on sight.
I mean,
to
only
level up
you,
anyway.
Dan, only you, Dan, can traverse the terrible suburbs of my mind palace.
It's a very treacherous
terrible
endeavor.
suburbs.
Each expedition, I lose more hope.
You have any hope
And speaking of losing hope,
I thought your baseline was zero hope.
So
Star Wars episode 9.
no, hold on. I'm not done yet.
He's not ready for that conversation, Brooks.
Because I'm not ready to leave Twilight Zone yet.
Oh, right.
Second episode has Adam Scott, and it's called Nightmare at 30,000 Feet.
Which is also the name of
Is it a?
There's a man on the wing.
Do we bore you?
So
I stayed up till like 4 last night.
I don't think it's much of a spoiler to talk
No,
about kind of the premise of this, because they established the premise of this episode at the beginning of the episode. But Adam Scott plays a journalist who's hopping on a plane to Israel. And his wife or girlfriend is concerned for his safety and stuff like that. He's like, I've seen worse. Believe me, this is going to be like a laid back thing. And he starts noticing these patterns that it's flight 1015. It got delayed to 1015. And so he's listening to a podcast that's about like mysteries. We don't know what happened behind these things. And it's episode number 1015. And it starts describing the flight that he's on.
Oh, I like that.
I need to see.
That's
this.
actually a nice little twist on the original Nightmare at 20,000
So
Feet.
what's cool is there's one little Easter egg nod to that original episode where they're at one point in the show they show a little stuffed like figure version of the monster on the wall.
Of the gremlin? Yeah.
And the voice of the podcast is Dan Carlin, who does Hardcore History.
Oh, that's cool.
Zeke's showed me or got me a little bit into hardcore history.
So, like, they got an actual podcast dude to do the fictional podcast in the show.
Interesting.
Like, they've done such a great job.
That's great.
awesome.
And like speaking of callbacks, I've only seen the first episode
Same here.
thus far, but I loved there were a couple of like, hey, remember this kind of moments, but it didn't like distract from the actual thing at all. So the name of the venue that in the first episode is called Eddie's, which is the name of the dummy, the ventriloquist dummy from the first of two.
Sure.
Yeah, and then for a couple of shots, and I thought I was going crazy the first time I saw it. I was like, just real quick in the corner was the dummy.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
and
cool.
I was like, oh shit.
Another Easter egg in the second episode is in the beginning. They're in a newsstand in the airport, and you can just make out the magazines like on the top rack, and it's got Kumail Nanjiani comedy on the cover referencing the first episode.
That's kinda awesome.
A minor link, linking.
So shared
worlds
universe.
together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Twilight Zone.
Interesting considering how the first episode ended.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah,
Right.
that it just kind of disappeared. I feel like even in the old Twilight Zone, all of those incidents could exist in the same universe, and they aren't necessarily connected because they don't need to be.
Right.
But I feel like that's the whole the Twilight Zone is just.
Well, and Black Mirror has kind of set a precedent in acknowledgement of the shared universe and things like that. But specifically, so something to keep in mind is because there's no direct common thread between episode 1 and episode 2.
Yeah.
Episode 2 could have occurred before the end of
That's a
episode
good
1.
point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because I'm not gonna give anyone any spoilers away for the first episode, because if anyone that's listening hasn't seen it, it is on YouTube for free.
And
But-
what are you doing?
Freaking go watch it.
Yeah.
Well, finish watching and listening to this first, and then
and then go watch it because please don't leave. I want to
we
have
like
a
it.
If they've gotten this
conversation.
far, they've already counted as a view. Just,
Oh man.
we've got our
some more of this
engagement
gin.
spread. Ooh, I would mind joining in on that if that's okay.
So now you were saying about episode 9, Brooks.
Episode-
If you want to
Star
handle
Wars.
that transition.
Yeah, the awkward transition. What are you laughing at me for?
He's making
Easy
a,
there, Plinkett.
a bad reference.
Good reference.
Bad reference.
I'm excited. You can go shove it.
I'm not like excited, but I'm not like, for another Star Wars movie, because this one obviously has to come out because they've been talking about it for a while.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what's going to get retconned, and
So I have not seen any of the new Star Wars movies except for Rogue One.
oh man, that's the one you saw. That's like the
Actually,
no.
Rogue One was really good.
Rogue One's amazing. Last Jedi is definitely
And-
the worst one.
On that topic, K2SO is coming back in a series.
Because they're doing a Rogue One prequel series.
So they're doing a prequel to a prequel.
Yeah.
Is it the prequel?
But as a series. I put the fucking gin over there for you to get some.
I know. I didn't have
Okay.
Quit breaking character.
I think we're perfectly in character to be drinking.
I will say that I know a lot of folks that I know have kind of been suffering from Star Wars fatigue for the last while.
They have definitely bombarded us more so than they did when the prequels came out.
Yeah, because when episodes 1 through 3 came out,
Doing? What is wrong with you?
what did you do?
There are glasses for that. You don't pour gin in your water bottles.
Especially especially without a brown bag.
What is wrong with you?
I didn't want to chug it. I didn't see the other glass.
I cannot. I feel like I am officially not the biggest alcoholic in the room right now. You just tried pouring gin into your plastic water bottle.
It made sense.
Oh, I have to try to sneak this bottle in this music festival I'm going to.
So yeah,
I'm so disappointed. Did I kill your soul a little bit?
I feel
Remember that
less like I have friends who are crazy Star Wars
Oh
fans
yeah,
and stuff who
I have.
sometimes reek a little bit too much of the people who, like people were not happy about a very specific subsect of superfan were not happy about the last Star Wars movie.
Are you talking about The Last Jedi or
The Last Jedi?
I was not happy with.
I didn't like it. I thought it was very convoluted.
But specifically, they're like, oh, they made Luke weak and made him this completely different character. Maybe this time he'll act like a fucking Skywalker, like that kind of shit. And I'm like, wow, maybe. I mean, to take a quote from Letterkenny, give your balls a tug.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're gonna if you're a fan of anything that runs as long as Star Wars has in any capacity, much like Star Trek fans, and eventually something's gonna come out about the franchise that you like that you're not gonna like, and you can do one of two things. You can either respond like that, where it's like, brr, be hypercritical and. Those are the kind of people that harass, the actors and stuff on social media. Or you can just be like, yeah, I like the other stuff, but this is not for me, which is kind of the stance.
Especially considering we're 40 years on at this point.
Yeah,
no one who was involved in the original productions are still involved except for actors.
Yeah.
And they had no creative control. And we even saw... when Lucas still had creative control, just 30 years on, he was making very, very bad decisions.
Poor choices that resulted in super bomb-bad racing on the PlayStation 1.
First,
that game is amazing.
The first 3 films were a product of that man's mind at that time, before any amount of fame, before anything.
Yeah,
and to try to follow that up untainted is impossible.
I still don't hate the prequels as much as a lot of people do.
I like Episode 3.
My favorite scene? The hour-long Senate scene.
It's a great scene.
Space politics.
I like politics and okay, as a movie, it was not great, but the extended universe that the first 3 movies kind of set up is really interesting.
Well, the Star Wars EU is just super fucking cool.
In the books, yes.
And non-canon.
Yeah, which pissed me off because when
stuff.
they announced that they were going to start doing new movies, I was like, you have a literal sea of extended universe that you can pull from.
I just wanted a Dash
Make
Rendar
these
movie.
stories real, because there are a lot of highly regarded stories that have come out of the extended universe, and instead they just went, nope, none of it.
Not a bit.
I'll take none of it.
They started taking a few things for the cartoon shows, I'm totally blanking on his name. Why am I blanking? The main bad guy in Star Wars Rebels.
Everybody's listening, Tyler.
the
Everybody's
Inquisitor.
We're
waiting.
waiting on you, Tyler.
We're waiting.
We're waiting.
Leave me
Tyler.
alone.
Tyler, why?
Thrawn.
There we go.
Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Thrawn.
He was a extended universe book character before he made it to the Star Wars Rebels. So they start like Filoni, and he's
Thelonious Monk?
yes, no. He started taking a few things from the extended universe, which is kind of cool. And like the cartoons are amazing, and
Yeah,
I have so many things that are just trying to come out of my mouth right now because I have been waiting for a Star Wars discussion for a while.
You're doing great.
Have I told you guys?
No, you're not.
Thanks, Dan.
You're jammed up right now, and it's very obvious.
Thanks, Dan. You keep me humble.
Have I told you guys about my Star Wars friend? Okay.
People, let me tell you about my Star Wars friend.
He was actually, I used to work for him a long time ago, briefly, as the this is gonna sound made up, but as an arms dealer, he had a Class 3 license and stuff like that. But he's a huge Star Wars fan. He has been to every location they filmed at around the world. At one point, so he owned a very famous set of props that I got to touch, and I brag about occasionally to this day because it's cool. So you know the Cantina blasters from A New Hope?
Yeah.
So you know how it like changes with the arm and stuff like that? He owned those Cantina blasters.
Oh, wow.
He had the
That's
original props,
cool.
and I got to hold those. But he ended up trading those for one of the cameras that Empire Strikes Back was filmed on. So
Holy crap.
Yeah, and he's got a shit ton of.
crap.
He's got
That's ridiculous.
He's got a shit ton of props and stuff like that from Star Wars and a couple Star Trek props. And I remember when he got the he goes to the Star Wars celebration every year, and he's actually tight with a lot of people in production and Star Wars and stuff like that. And he's an interesting dude for sure. We've been on a few adventures, but we have had so many late night discussions about fucking Star Wars and shit like that. And he had a coffee table in his basement was Han Solo and Carbonite. It was great.
That's legit.
Yeah, it was great.
I've seen one of those before on like a.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen that before as well. It's really cool.
Yeah, I would love, like, I'm not a huge like I want a bunch of Star Wars stuff guy. I have that helmet.
I have a.
I've said it from the get-go. I am more of a Star Trek guy than a Star Wars guy.
Same, but Star Wars is fucking rad, and I really hope that J.J. Abrams will make this final entry for a long time, the conclusion of this new trilogy.
People have been losing their shit over the Emperor's Laugh.
And did you see the Atlas?
new groove.
Did you see the Star Wars celebration, like the reveal with that? Did anyone else see that?
No.
They actually had so like they show the trailer. They showed the trailer, and when the lights turned on, the cast that they had been talking, there's no one there except for Ian McDiarmid, the guy who plays Palpatine. He was the only one on stage. So like it was just like that. It is confirmed that he's going to be in the movie in some
Interesting.
capacity.
Do it.
So it's like
Do it.
Do it.
Strike me down with all your hatred, and soon your journey to the dark side will be complete.
Do it.
Execute Order 66. 666.
But I mean,
number
I
of
kind
the
of feel like it's pandering. They're like, well, we definitely made a lot of money with the first two back, but we didn't get a lot of fan praise out of either of them.
7 got a lot. People loved 7, even if it was A New Hope Part 2.
It didn't really.
I like 7 quite a bit.
7 got more than 8, but it's still not like prequel level. Like when
No.
the prequels first came out, it was fucking. It was
Well-
pandemonium.
Well, I mean, at that point when the prequels came out, all that Star Wars fans had were the books and the video games.
Yeah.
And that was it. It's Star Wars. Yes, Star Wars was a big pop culture touchstone, even through the late '90s, early 2000s, before this whole thing got started again. But now that it's just Star Wars, now it's like really cool to be into Star Wars, and now we have really cool Star Wars stuff, and it's there's not like the you're a nerd if you like this kind of thing.
Sure.
I actually know someone who's like proud that they haven't seen any Star Wars movies, and I'm just like,
That's a weird thing to be proud of.
right?
I don't get people who are like that. I'm so like the same thing
I'm
with like Game
proud
of Thrones. I'm,
to-
I'm
Who are
proud
you-
I've never seen Game of Thrones.
Who are you trying to impress?
I'm proud I've never seen The Usual Suspects.
I'm proud I haven't done this.
Like
thing.
it's one thing to just not have you can.
Yeah.
It's possible.
I do that all the
Just
time.
not to see something.
The only person impressed when you say that is you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Nobody else gives a shit
I've
that you
never
haven't
seen a Quentin
something.
Tarantino film because I have
yeah,
taste.
Dan.
Okay, I don't make myself sound cool when I say I haven't seen something. I just go, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Which is something that I like about you is you make no bones about like, oh yeah, I'm not really a TV guy or something like that. And
Yeah.
They're like, it's not like I have to convince.
I don't own a television. I don't watch TV. It's beneath me.
You better go home, Dan. Your Fleet Fox records are getting dusty. Sorry, Fleet Foxes.
Are you vegan too?
I haven't told you about it yet, so probably not.
Vegans.
So what else? I feel like there was something else.
Kind of a Star Wars Fallen Order. I kind of wanted to talk
Oh
about
my
it.
God! I saw the trailer for
Looks
that new Star
sick.
Wars game. LucasArts is back.
Oh, that's right.
LucasArts back. They're actually doing it. And actually, no, that's Respawn
So who's
doing
publishing?
Fallen Order.
Oh,
Respawn, the guys who do Titanfall.
Oh.
And it's EA. EA is the still publisher. But it kind of wanted me to, I wanted to bring this up on this because they tweeted out that the game will not have multiplayer and it also will not have microtransactions.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
sick.
I'm happy that that's a thing. But it also just makes me laugh that how self-aware that like it's like EA's kind of becoming aware. Like they had to say that. They had to tweet that. Like
I don't think that you don't have to not have multiplayer. Just spend time on the single player experience.
Exactly.
This isn't a new concept, having both single player and multiplayer.
I always play single player before I dive into the multiplayer.
Absolutely. I would never jump into the multiplayer of a game that I just bought. I play through the single player in order to get the story and
pick up some
also
of the
because
game
I
concept.
really,
Story and
prefer
skill.
playing alone. But to get a feel for it.
it wasn't the multiplayer part of that made me.
What, you're not gonna
it's
make
the
another
DLC or not the DLC, the microtransactions.
We need another
Yeah, the
Star Wars
microtransaction
Battle
thing.
Royale game.
Oh God.
I dislike the Battle Royale genre.
Yeah.
I don't hate them.
It's like a fun.
I hate the capacity to which it has reached.
Because
I didn't hate Battle Royale before it started taking over everything.
yeah, it was.
I did.
I liked Battle Royale as like a mode. You know what I mean?
not as a
in a game, not just the whole purpose of a game being, Battle Royale. Trying to think of.
Didn't Call of Duty and Battlefield both do that on the? Oh Jesus Christ! It was large in my face.
It's a mosquito hawk. It eats mosquitoes.
No, it doesn't. It eats nectar.
That is a lie.
Does eat nectar. They don't eat mosquitoes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
What do they call mosquito hawks?
It is.
then?
I have no idea.
Because they look like really big.
I think
mosquitoes.
that's a term that some people made up on accident.
It's a misnomer.
Oh.
Yeah, those things do not eat mosquitoes.
just like Daddy Longlegs are actually moms, but
Also, Daddy Longlegs don't have tiny teeth so they can't.
Oh
bite you.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're
That
not the
whole
most
thing is kind of a
poisonous,
bullshit.
most venomous spider.
Actually-
they just can't puncture skin.
Welcome
That's
to
a little
everything
wild
you know was
welcome
wrong.
to debunking spiders with the Topless Robot Podcast.
So
That makes it sound like we're just debunking the existence of spiders.
Spiders like the female orgasm are a myth.
keeping on track with the battle royale genre thing.
Holy shit, Dan's bringing us right back.
I
to
know. Usually I just stare off into
Whoa.
space and wait for you guys to finish.
Sounds like
It's better if you make eye contact so I can finish, Dan.
I hated it for how soulless all of the games that it spawned are.
Yeah, it's just like
They
you
are
go-
all just. There's just nothing impressive about it. The only thing you're chasing is the win, and nothing about the experience is actually good.
right. Like
Unless a 5-year-old shoots you and dabs on your corpse. I guess I don't know. Maybe that's the appeal.
Corpse
I
dabber.
just don't get it. I don't get a game where winning is so much the focus that anything else takes backseat to it.
I don't know. I kind of enjoy.
What I like about it is that it takes a direction that multiplayer modes in games have gradually drifted away from over the past 20 years, which is everyone entering in with equal opportunity. Call of Duty really, kind of set the table for, hey, if you're better, you're going to get better perks and you're going to get better things and you'll level up and we'll have levels in multiplayer matches.
It's not like playing
Go
Quake.
fuck yourself. Everyone drop into a place, try to find something, and kill each other.
Fun concept. Too bad all the games suck.
PUBG
PUBG was a broken sham. It was terrible.
Well,
Was it?
PUBG was awful. That game was not complete by any means. It was broken. You could fall through the world. The cars didn't work half the time. Sorry, there's no defense of PUBG.
That was when it
Fortnite
was
is at
open
least a better
access,
put together
Yeah.
game that is nowhere near as glitchy.
Right, but it puts way too much emphasis on
Dabbing on people.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna get a lot of
And
hate for
having
this. I actually
professional
liked
NFL
Fortnite.
skins for your favorite Fortnite characters.
I actually liked Fortnite, and I'm
Well,
gonna
I know
get a little hate of
your,
this.
your grandparents bought you that shirt, right?
Yeah, exactly. They did.
Look, I have a pinata on a stick.
I actually lost that shirt. That shirt's gone.
How did you lose? How do you lose a shirt?
I don't know.
You get into
it's
fights?
probably at my mom's house
Like,
somewhere.
are you like trailer park?
He got in
boys
some
again?
nerd rage about Lord of the Rings and ripped it off his own torso.
I blacked out.
No,
I woke
he's-
up. I had no clothes. I was in the middle of the desert and had no idea how I got there.
Someone told him he got really excited about the premiere of Game of Thrones, and then someone told him they didn't care, and he ripped his shirt off.
No, he's
That's
like,
how I actually deal with strife. Is just anytime someone tells me that something that I disagree with, I just rip my shirt off immediately. Just as before they even finish the sentence, I'm just tearing my clothes off.
No, he's like Randy, and he has to take his clothes off before he can fight people.
You want to go?
Oh man,
Viciously throw it to both sides to the ground. Want to go, bro? Want to go?
talking shit about my cheeseburgers, ain't you?
Still, go ahead.
I mean, since it's today, we may as well, and it's news, we may as well mention that Game of Thrones
Dun, 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 dun,
final
dun,
season
dun,
premieres
dun, 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 dun,
today.
But the
I-
real question is, will Darcy find true love, or
I don't particularly care that Game of Thrones is.
yeah, I could take it or leave it. I came home to my parents' house last night, and they were watching Game of Thrones, and I'm like, I didn't know you guys watch this. And my dad's like, I don't like all this sex stuff. My mom was like, you're blocking the TV. So,
What a lovely interaction.
well, the my only issue, and if I even call it that, with Game of Thrones is like I gave it a shot, and I'm just not crazy about the show. Like it's just not really my thing, and I'm not gonna like talk shit about Game of Thrones because I already did that once. But it's just the unrelenting. You got to watch this. You got to watch this. You got to watch this. That I
Yeah.
get from everyone, and
Tyler.
it's really really annoying.
I am guilty of that.
Yeah,
It's really annoying because it's like I said that I don't like the show. It's not like I haven't seen it.
Well, there's a difference.
So-
If someone watches it and doesn't like it, then sure, that's fine.
Yeah.
But it's the people that like the people I always do that to, where I'm just like, you gotta watch this. It's the people who have been sitting there. This show's been out for 12 years. Give it a few episodes and then at least try it, because it's one of those. It's a little bit of a one of those mile marker.
It
kind
is
of
a cultural
event. Kind of.
sure. I think I watched through season 3 or 4
That's about where I got to.
and enjoyed it, but realized that I couldn't name a single character on that show. I couldn't tell you a single character's name. To me, that means that I'm not invested in any of the characters' development. Otherwise, I would be like, oh, so yeah, I'm, following this. I take that back. I can name one character,
Tyrion.
Arya, because
Oh, yeah,
I
Arya's
fucking
tight.
love Arya.
Arya's amazing. You can't name Jon Snow,
Okay, Jon Snow, fucking whatever.
Ned Stark.
It's just like not. There's a lot that happens in the show, and I feel like for like every episode where I saw something that I really liked, like this cool deceptive plot, or like ultra violence, was just padded out with a bunch of people talking in accents and costumes.
Yeah.
But like those people talking,
And I'm a
the people
Gundam
talking,
fan.
I just see that's the thing that I don't understand is like the dialogue is so well written. It's like the characters are pretty 3-dimensional. Like there's a lot of good character.
I mean,
arcs
so are the characters
with-
on C-SPAN. Game of Thrones is C-SPAN for people that like Call of Duty Zombies.
I hate you, so much.
That sentence could piss off a lot of different people.
Yeah, I just kind of stopped caring. It sort of fell off.
It was kind of like with in the 90s with Friends. It was never really my jam.
Yeah, I was a Seinfeld guy.
Yeah, me too.
I
I could see myself going back and revisiting Game of Thrones, but it doesn't feel. I don't have a sense of urgency with regard to Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Same, I never felt a sense of urgency with Walking Dead, which was another thing that fucking took off.
That's one I couldn't get
hate
into.
The Walking Dead.
I did the 3-episode thing.
Oh yeah, the 3-episode thing. Well, like
I couldn't get into it. It just wasn't that interesting to me.
what kills with The Walking Dead for me is like I've read some of the comics and those are dope. Those were really cool.
Oh yeah, the comics are
It's
great,
stylized wonderfully and it's well written and things like that. But
and even the Telltale games, keep
actually-
that
yeah.
style and yeah.
But like
Clementine will remember
zombies,
Time.
zombies in film, much like other creatures of the supernatural and monsters and all that stuff, are a reflection of who we are as people. And when you take that away from your zombie property, it's just a bunch of people in a room shouting at each other and shooting corpses.
Right. The film started out as social commentary.
Yeah.
Like Romero set the stage as a social satirist.
Yeah.
But that kind of gradually got removed from the genre, not just in TV, but in film as well. It became just another monster.
It was like, oh, cool! Look at these ones can run, or
and it, purely from a visual standpoint, I got into Walking Dead from the get-go because fuck, their effects are incredible.
That first season
for
was
television,
super cool. Yeah,
like in the first episode, he encounters a zombie that is just a torso, and it's some of the best zombie effects I've ever seen in any medium.
Yeah,
it was
fantastic.
startlingly good.
And then it became a soap opera with monsters in the background.
Yeah.
Oh who's this guy gonna kill? We're gonna stretch it out as far as we can.
Yeah, the Negan thing.
Yeah.
The majority of what I hear about Walking Dead now is just Walking Dead fans bitching about how shitty the show is.
Yeah.
And now
so it makes me really not want to go in and watch. Like, I could see maybe the first season being good, but-
it definitely has a half-life. You know,
Yeah.
like it's that you can watch it to Negan for fuck's sake. Like, because Michonne is badass. There's
I do love me some Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
there are some arcs that are worth getting interested in, and everyone is absolutely right in favoring Daryl over every other character on that fucking show.
Well, it's Norman Reedus, man.
Yeah, Norman Reedus is awesome, but also his brother,
I'd rather just watch
that
him
you
do
get a
hot
lot of
scenes.
in the first season, who is Michael Rucker, or is that his name?
The guy from Mallrats, right?
Yeah, the guy from Mallrats.
Rooker. Michael Rooker.
That's right. He's great and plays a tremendous racist.
Michael Rooker is just really
Tremendous
good at playing
racist in
crazy guys. Like,
Yes, he is.
He was in was that movie Henry, the one where he's like
Yes, Henry
yeah.
Portrait of a Killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't he in Guardians of the Galaxy too?
Yes, he is.
And one.
Yeah.
He's Yondu.
Yondu.
Yep.
That's right.
But for me he will always
I meant
be
also.
the guy from Mallrats.
Oh, absolutely. The guy who got the stink fist
Yeah.
or stink palm or whatever.
Yeah, the stink palm.
Um,
And he every time like I get out of the shower, and I have a towel wrapped around me, I always think of that, when he's in the movie and he's trying to do the karate and shit. in
Karate
this room,
moves and the towel falls.
off. Yeah. And he's just got that flat butt, and I'm just like, ugh.
so perfect.
This is what everyone looks like when they get out of the shower.
But yeah, there are these cultural, these movies that became cultural icon, and like fucking Walking Dead is now adding a third show.
Blech.
So there's The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, and I can't even remember what the name of
Return
the new
of
show
the
is going
Walking
to be.
Dead.
And it's like
The Walking is dead.
you've never seen Walking like this before.
A fourth spin-off show with the new main character Joaquin dead.
No,
And yet we get
If
all of
they
this
were
and we
smart-
can't get another season of Preacher? Come on!
If they were smart, they would make an entirely new series that did nothing. It was just Norman Reedus. That's it. You want to make some money, AMC? There's your $1 million idea. Fucking run with it.
Yeah, just make a show where you're following that guy around.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I mean, that could
Or
be.
just make another.
That could be
Boondock Saints.
interesting. I mean, it's AMC that's doing it, right?
I'll take it. Yes.
AMC shows have been kind of hit or miss. Like
Yeah,
obviously,
AMC cutting Preacher is sad.
like every Breaking Bad is so good that people are throwing pizzas on that poor family's house.
Yeah, they have a big security fence up now.
Yeah, it's annoying, but like
It's now Albuquerque's
I've
number one
wanted-
export. Is
Yeah, I've wanted to give more of their shows a shot, but every show that I've picked, with the exception of Preacher, because I did see a little bit of that was tight.
Preacher's amazing. American Gods. too.
Preacher's great. American Gods. American Gods is Stars. It's
But
not AMC.
into
that's right. You're right.
Into the Badlands looked like it was going to be like really cool, like
I haven't seen any
Journey
of
to the West, like martial arts
I saw-
wasteland kind of thing, and it sucks.
I saw like the first season. I thought it was pretty solid. I mean, I liked it, but I got to see people get stabbed and get their asses kicked, so I didn't ask for much more than that.
It felt too derivative because now every like show that's set in some like fantasy setting, whether it's a post-apocalypse or like true fantasy, a la D&D, it's always like now we have to have factions and political drama.
Sure.
And because other shows are doing that and it's great. It's like no, I want a show that's like linear. I want to follow like one or two people and just watch them either get their asses kicked or kick ass.
Yeah.
With character development sprinkled along the way.
Wayne.
Yeah, I feel
Wayne is a perfect example of that.
I need to dip my toes back into Wayne.
Wayne was a fucking awesome show. AMC, if I remember correctly, like what really put them on the map as far as original content was concerned was Mad Men.
Yeah,
And that really created John Hamm's career.
Mad Men.
And
was a
I've seen a
madman,
good
how
amount
about
of
say
that.
this?
And if you want to see
Jesus.
a lot of insufferable human beings, in the heyday of capitalism, like that is the show to fucking watch.
Plus, John Hamm
it was
is just a
really
delight
good.
to watch. And
It's how
any-
John
America-
Hamm, I love John Hamm.
John Hamm
It's
is
how
one of my
America
favorite people.
fell in love with Mountain Dew again.
What?
I'm
They-
more of a coffee dew guy myself.
They I believe one of the plot points was how Mountain Dew came to be.
Oh, really?
How it was originally marketed as a mixer for booze.
Yes, that is true.
And I'm pretty sure that was
Because
part
the whole
of the
thing
show.
was you were supposed to mix it with moonshine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because when they brought the Mountain Dew throwbacks out, they had the old labels, and it's like an old country guy
Yep.
with a jug. Yeah.
God, I do love Mountain Dew the throwback stuff. But we're not talking about soda. This isn't a podcast that talks about soda.
Oh, wait, but we should be talking about soda. I'll be right back because I have something for us to try.
Uh-oh.
Talk amongst yourselves as I unleash this.
Okay,
You look nice today.
Now that Ryan is gone, everyone just start talking about him behind his back.
Ryan is such a great guy.
Ryan, his hair looks really good today.
Has blue hair, am I right, guys?
And does it look like he's been working out? Oh shit, he's back. Okay, Ryan's an asshole.
Can you give us a quick flex, dude?
Oh, is that Fago? Ooh. Look at those almost biceps.
Wearing my Record Store Day 2019 shirt.
Oh man,
that's-
he's topical too, ladies. He's got it all.
Crop top.
Because Record Store Day was yesterday.
And Rex Manning Day was last week.
Yeah, Rex Manning Day was last Monday.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, what is this?
So I have a soda for us all to take a sip
He's
of.
covering the label with his hand.
Is
I
it
can't read
liquor?
it.
It's actually rat poison.
Who doesn't love buffalo wings?
Oh, give me
Oh,
that.
sweet.
After you try that,
Jesus.
you can pass it all the way down here, and I will take a heady quaff, a draught, if you will.
That's weird.
Give me a little.
It's weirdly sweet, but it's got a little burn on the aftertaste.
Okay, I actually normally can get on board with like the spicy sweet stuff, like chocolate chili ice cream.
It tastes.
Well, I mean that's just mole.
It tastes kind of like orange Fanta with a little bit of an afterburn.
Do you want a Fanta? I've had
I am unimpressed. But it's
I've-
not disgusting.
Yeah, it's not as disgusting as I
I've
was
had
thinking it was going to be.
the Jones Soda Thanksgiving sweet.
I don't taste anything in there that kind of reminds me of buffalo wing sauce.
Well, it doesn't
besides-
have the vinegary
No.
goodness of a buffalo wing.
No, it just kind of tastes like a slightly like the soda itself is kind of just and then there's a little bit of a kick at the end. That's it.
Tyler is ruining my
You're talking about
buffalo
this.
wings.
When are you just gonna get us a bottle of Malort already?
I've had
need
a-
to contact my Chicago connections.
Dan, if you were friends with me a year ago, I would have had half a bottle for you.
Of Malort? I thought you hadn't had Malort before.
No, I had a full bottle of Malort.
Really?
Yeah, so I got it. So it was a white elephant gift that somebody, and I actually paid that person that got it to bring it home. And then every time that I'd trick some asshole into taking a shot of Malort with me, I drank it as well. So like I am like immune to the effects of Malort.
Brooks has elevated himself beyond the influence.
I am at some point going to contact a Chicago friend and have them send us some
Yeah,
Malort.
you should.
I
do that.
think the best
I
reaction
will-
is
I will-
probably
I will
going
give
to
you
be
money
Tyler's.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not gonna look forward to
I will give you money if they send an extra bottle because I like having it at my house as a trick for people that want to mooch off of all the liquor I don't have.
Well, I don't know if I ever told you guys about this, but a bar in my home of my old home of Madison.
This tastes like a restaurant, like the way a rest stop bathroom smells.
They did like a Russian roulette where you get, however many shots, for your party. And one of the shots is Malort.
Okay.
And the rest of the shots are a similarly colored liquor. And so you mix them up and everyone does their shot at the same time and you look to see who got the Malort.
That's fun.
Is there anyone who
Malort
actually...
literally tastes like what the emotion of bitterness feels like.
It is
so
a
I'm
very
going- I'm gonna love
bitter.
it.
It is.
Dan's just gonna...
Yeah, Dan,
is a very
that
bitter
is your liquor. And getting buzzed on Malort is like, it's like being accidentally aroused by something that hurts.
It's like, oh, I'm into that? Is there anyone who actually enjoys
Someone
But, like,
kicks
not
you
in a
the
sexy
balls
way.
And you get a hard on. You're like, oh, this is new.
You're like, oh, this is bad. This is dangerous.
Oh, I like squishing stuff. That's great.
I'm into balloons now. I am a lunar now.
Oh, it's the Lunar New Year.
Ugh.
But yeah, Malort is a wormwood liqueur.
It's
and,
poopy.
I think, if I remember correctly, I think Cow Chop did a whole video about trying to find a mixer for Malort to make it more palatable.
And none of them worked.
I've actually looked into cocktail recipes that might make Malort taste good because I like the way it tastes. It's like I understand why people would like it, and I know that there's a way to make it probably taste like really delicious.
We have the
I
technology.
just have never bought any stuff for that and was just shooting it at room temperature,
Yeah.
Ooh.
which is worse.
Wormwood
That is-
liqueurs are always meant to be chilled.
The way to go right there. Yeah.
It's inflicting maximum pain on my guests. It's like using blood magic that it hurts you, but it does more damage to somebody else. That's what Malort is.
Yes, that is accurate.
Oh man,
you just have it at its worst. So when you have it at its best, it's actually
we're not at a
that bad.
bratwurst festival, Tyler.
You want to take that one back?
No, I take nothing back.
I give you the opportunity to retract it.
I
No one will
plunge into
judge
the
you.
ether and grab it only to let it go.
And then
so
rub it in our faces.
we
Rub it in your
have
face.
come to the end of the podcast. Does anyone have any rants or raves?
I have a rave.
Go right ahead.
I have finally, despite the fact that I'm a huge fan of the series and was behind the curve, bought Devil May Cry 5.
Nice.
Ooh,
It is the best Devil May Cry game ever. It is the best.
It is a ton of fun. I agree with it.
They also they included a very strange feature that's this weird pseudo multiplayer that I really enjoy. In that, since the entire game is about 20 missions and you're jumping around chronologically to play different characters that are doing stuff at the same time, often in the same area, and you get matchmaking that when people are playing those missions and you're playing the other character in their mission that's in the concurrent timeline, you can watch them play through their mission.
Sure.
Instead of watching the NPC
that's
beating up people in the
that's kind of
background.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah,
like
so
There is.
I didn't know that that's what that multiplayer was, so I immediately turned off matchmaking when I
No,
fired
the
it up.
matchmaking is so cool because there's even one mission where there's one part where you get to, if people get matchmaked with, you can actually, there's a huge fight that you can fight if 3 people can be in the same room, and you can actually fight alongside the whole party.
Huh.
That happened to me. I didn't think that was going to be a thing. I thought it was just going to this neat feature where you can watch other people play the game while you too play the game.
Sure.
But no, I'm in the middle of this fight as you're like descending / ascending this Clifoth, and Dante just falls in from the ceiling, and another player just starts beating the shit out of everything in the room. I was like, this is badass. I wish the whole game was like that. I wish you could actually play through the game with a friend, because that was some of the most fun I've had playing Devil May Cry. When like I'm already at like S rank and the soundtrack is going hard, and then Dante falls out of the ceiling and another player starts killing everything.
That's pretty cool.
So
That's
cool.
legit.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Very Journey-esque in the passive matchmaking.
Yes.
Where
Matchmaker,
player can just
matchmaker, making a
drop
match?
into your game, and
welcome.
you probably wouldn't even realize it until you beat the game, because at the end of the game it's like, these people joined you on your path, and it like lists their gamer tags and shit, and it's like, oh shit,
Yep.
those were people.
I hate that I had that. I already knew that because I played Journey later after it had already gotten all of the.
Yeah.
So I didn't get that. That like, oh man, that's a surprise.
Man, fucking day of release, I sat down and just played that from beginning to end.
so
It's
good.
such a great fucking game.
I haven't actually played Journey yet. It's one of those titles that like I know is good, but I just every time that I'm like on Steam like looking to buy stuff, I always forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I need to remember to play that.
It's got
Yeah.
really good sound.
Yeah,
really good
like I heard
soundtrack.
the soundtrack is dope.
Don't
and-
The
Stop Believing
soundtrack
is
won a
great.
Grammy. It's the first video game soundtrack to ever win a Grammy.
Did you know? Tyler, if you're gonna fucking step into my playground and start some fucking shit, you're gonna get.
I guess I missed it.
I did too.
Tyler kicks sand.
Don't Stop Believing is good.
Oh boy.
great song.
Yeah.
you
Wow.
see, and I
The things you miss when you don't have headphones on.
I resisted the urge to talk about the Journey arcade game that featured.
So you left a void.
That featured a camera that would or featured digitized images of the band, and I was gonna just kind of let that go, but you had to just kind of
You left a void that I had to fill.
walk your little dog and have him shit on my yard.
I'm so disappointed.
You all
I'm
missed
so
me
disappointed
so
right
much
now.
these last 2 weeks.
Something like
God, no.
that. I don't have any raves or rants.
Any other rants and or raves?
Not really a rant or a rave, just a weird, like.
Then it doesn't belong in the
Realization.
rants and raves section, does it?
Fine.
Everyone knows that weird observations are made between minutes 2:30 through 5:37.
Okay, it's a little bit
When
of a
someone's asking for a rant or a rave, you're like, well, this isn't a rant or a rave. Well, okay. Then is it applicable?
Then shut up.
fine.
No,
I
go
won't
on,
say
go on.
anything.
No, go on.
No. You ruined it.
no.
What are your
ruined it.
words?
No,
I am.
What are your gray area words?
Let's hear your words,
It's more, I
Tyler.
haven't decided if it's a rant or a rave yet. It's probably more of a rant. Basically, I was just thinking about this today. I was like, oh, okay. I was getting ready for the podcast. I'm like, okay, what are the things that I want to talk about today? And I was like, oh, well, Star Wars is really cool. And then,
Star
they
Wars.
had the Lion King trailer.
Oh, yeah,
and then,
which looked okay.
looked interesting. And then it was like, oh, Disney Plus. And then also Endgame's coming out here soon. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty. And then I was just sitting there. I was like, Disney owns the fucking world, because everything I want to talk about is 100% Disney.
Yep.
And I'm not sure how much I haven't started hating it yet, but I feel like I'm going to hate that soon.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
the fact that all that entertainment is slowly becoming monopolized.
By
Yeah.
Disney.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Disney owns the world, and we've kind of just given that to them, and we kind of just keep asking for them to take more because
Disney will breach my mind palace after my cold, dead hands cease to defend it.
Disney's gonna copyright your mind palace.
I don't think so.
They'll take it over in a
I think it's too esoteric for them to actually want.
hostile takeover.
And that would necessitate that all of the different Brooks in the multiverse would die at the same time.
Yeah.
If anyone had the power to make that happen.
Every Brooks that exists in the multiverse is the same Brooks. It's just one that made a consciously different decision than the other.
Right.
number.
So
But
at
what
least
about one that
some
lives in the
have
universe
to-
where immortality was discovered?
Or some have to have made decisions that prevented them from being killed by whatever kills you.
Of course.
So,
it's
there
this constantly
are,
learning
will
body.
always be protectors.
I like to believe that I am the prime Brooks in my multiverse.
All of the Brooks believe
But-
they're the prime Brooks.
But yeah, every Brooks thinks they're the prime Brooks, and so like, I could get hit by a bus on the way way home today, but another Brooks will appear and take my place as if nothing changed.
Are you actually like the 50th Brooks that we've known since starting this podcast?
I'm not gonna tell you because
he doesn't know the answer.
I've died 7 times in this podcast, and the camera couldn't catch it. I spilled water from my water bottle onto this mic once, and where I was electrocuted. I once said a combination of words that made Dan fly into a murderous rage. There was one time that I just shit myself and died from embarrassment. So, oh my God.
Well, on that note, what better time to remind you that we are sponsored by Ripped Apparel.
Get ripped!
So head on over to toplessrobot.com/ripped. That's toplessrobot.com/RIPT. And you can get all kinds of nerdy crossover original artwork, t-shirts, some limited run t-shirts that cross your favorite nerdy properties and pop culture properties, all kinds of fun stuff like that.
Not to be confused with the Jeff Bridges Ryan Gosling vehicle, RIPD.
Certainly not. So, and
like
that's
any
not
of them
Ryan
should be
Gosling. That's Ryan Reynolds. And of course, we are brought to you by Humble Bundle.
Homo.
Go to toplessrobot.com/humble, and the early unlock for May's games so far is they've only announced one, which is kind of weird because they usually announce 3 at a time. But it's Assassin's Creed Origins, which you can get for $12. I think is the humble monthly
12
cost.
whole doll hairs.
And then you'll get 8 more games on the first Friday of May. So
First of May,
super,
the first
super
of May.
worthy.
It's gonna be
Super
May.
worth it. Outdoor fucking starts today.
So
Bring your favorite
Humble Bundle.
lady, or at least your favorite lay.
Oh my God.
And
Brooks? When have we
with
started?
that,
I think we might have a voicemail, Ryan.
Do we have a voicemail?
I don't. What?
Did it not come through?
I don't think. And I also don't have a way for us to listen to voicemail right
No
now.
way to listen to voicemail. Never mind. We didn't get a voicemail.
You know, we
I lied.
have-
I didn't get a notification of a voicemail.
We just have too much.
I don't think so.
Too
Maybe
much
I
fan
did.
mail to sound to go through.
There may be a voicemail. You'll listen to it next week because right now we're still in a state of interim because moving is hard, you guys.
Moving is the worst.
That's why we're on a couch. We have couch lock.
But yeah, thank you as always for watching and or listening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
I'm taking off today and breathe. Sometimes you have to sit if you wanna make the shit, taking liberties, taking liberties.
Luke, it says I'm locked out of my account again.
Yeah, let me tell you something, brother. You load the podcast with the rocket fuel, and you start the mega powers, and you hit that subscribe button. Ooh, I'm not gonna rip my shirt because it's the only one I have right now. Subscribe.